What's going on, guys? SoCal Daniel here. Wanted to go over a couple of things that I've been asked recently. Can I sell my house and buy another house? And typically, the answer is pretty simple. Yes. Now, it's not for everybody though. It's definitely not for everybody. A lot of these conversations that we're having right now, it really makes sense from somebody that's moving a little further out to go into the Inland Empire. So you guys got to remember, SoCal Daniel. So we're here in Southern California right now. So I wanted to give you guys an idea of what it would look like to actually sell your house and then buy another one, or do whatever you like with that. So some of the questions I get asked recently would be, hey, can I do this? Can I make it happen? What does that look like for us? So a lot of the people that are asking it are coming from the LA County, right? LA County, like places like Compton, Inglewood, even places like Whittier, the San Gabriel Valley, Pasadena, and saying, hey, can I sell my house here? Use the equity to get into the next home. So what is equity, right? Most people are like, hey, what is equity? Equity is whatever you have in the home. Let's say, we want to sell your house at $1 million, but you owe 500,000. So your equity would be anything in between. Now, if you sell it, it would be after the closing cost, right? So let's say, after closing costs and everything, you net 435,000. Hey, now can I use that equity to get into the next home? Yes, right? So now it's really tough when you're upgrading from the same location to just around the same area. So if you're going from Pasadena to Pasadena, it's going to be extremely difficult. Even if you have a large down payment, most likely your payment's going to be a little bit higher. So equity, going back to equity, that's really what it is, right? Just the amount of money left over from once you either sell, or if you do refinance, they can give you an idea of how much equity you have in the home. So gives you a good idea of where you're at. Now with equity, you can do a lot of things with this equity to help you on the next home. So one is that, hey, can I use the whole thing? Yeah, you can definitely transfer from one house to another, and you can even do it from escrow to escrow company. Now, what people are doing to lower their payments is using the equity to pay down items, if they have any toys, any cars, sometimes paying off those items, instead of putting that down payment, you can afford more monthly, right? So an example, let's say you say, hey, I want a $4,000 payment, no more than that, right? But a $4,000 payment is only gonna get you, let's say, depending on how much equity you have, an $800,000 home. Again, just throwing random numbers out, right? So now, instead of, hey, only that $4,000 payment at $8,000, what if we were to use some of that equity to pay off the truck you owe or the boat that you have, right? Something that's not super huge, right? But hey, maybe I owe $10,000, $15,000 on it. And now I'm able to afford $600 more because I'm already used to having this payment here. I told you what I can afford with that payment in mind. So now, that's gonna bump up your pre-approval to $900,000. Again, just random numbers. Great, guys. So contingencies. Contingencies are super important when you're selling and buying the next home, right? So some people, they're like, hey, I don't wanna be homeless. I wanna be able to buy my house, get into the next one, and just do it all together. Can I do that? Yes. So what does that look like? So what that's gonna look like is we're gonna have a contingency in places that says, if I don't find my replacement house, then this house doesn't sell. So what does that look like, right? Let's say you're out shopping, you can't find the right home, but you have a buyer for your home already. We're gonna have to find a buyer that, one, wants to do that, wait for you to find the replacement property. So that's super huge, right? And then two, they're gonna have to wait or come to a point where if you can't find the right property and they cancel, or we're saying, hey, we're not gonna find it. And then at that point we can cancel. So the opportunity is still there for you to keep your home just in case you don't get the number you want or you don't find the property you like. That's super huge. People don't know that. People think that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sell my house and I'm gonna be homeless. Robert, why would you do that to me and my family? I have 16 kids. Can't be homeless, right? So that's what that looks like. Another conversation that we're having a lot right now too is, what if I sell my house, take advantage of where the market's at right now, because we're hearing all this boom and gloom or whatever. Can I sell my property and then rent? Yes. Some people are doing that. Some people are doing it because they want to sell and they want to see what the market does. And that's a great opportunity for somebody to really use that equity. And you might ask, well, what if I'm taxed on that money? If it's your primary residence, then with that, you can actually, if you're single, it's 250,000, up to 250,000. Again, I'm not a tax professional, ask your tax professional, but up to 250,000 when you're single is non-taxable. If you're married, it's 500,000 for your primary home. Now, if you're selling an investment property, you might do something like a 1031 exchange. So that really helps. So that gives you an opportunity to be like, hey, I'm gonna sell where we're kind of going down a little bit in the market right now. We're not all the way at the top anymore. At the top was more like May, April, somewhere around there. So we're kind of going down. We're about 5-8% down right now. Just kind of give or take around this time, where September 2022. It gives you an idea of, hey, yeah, I can sell this house and then rent. Absolutely, 100%. And some people are doing that. So just kind of seeing what that conversation looks like. Some people are renting for a couple of months, maybe a year, just to see what the market does. So great option. And then there's another option called the leaseback. Now, can I lease my home, right? So what does that mean? A leaseback is when you sell your home, but you ask for a leaseback, which would be like a rental. Hey, I'm gonna sell my home, but can you guarantee me that you can keep me in this home for 30 days and I'll pay market value? It's not gonna be, a lot of times it's not gonna be what they're paying for their monthly rate. So you have to get somebody a buyer that's gonna agree to that, because most likely they're gonna have to come out of pocket to cover the cost for a house they're not living in yet, right? So it wouldn't really work if somebody's selling their house to get into that one. That can become a little messy, but you can do a leaseback. Not as popular right now. Sellers were having that advantage, in the crazy market where everything was just up and people were just like, yeah, we'll do anything, let's do it. Not happening as much, but you can do that. You can say, hey, I want to sell my house, and then give me 60, 90 days, maybe 30 days to find the right home. That option's absolutely there. So some of the problems we're running into, we're having these conversations a lot. Hey, I need to sell, I want to sell, what can I do? But the thing is, if you're looking to go from, let's say, Fontana to San Bernardino or Rialto, or you maybe even move a little bit further because you want, like further west, Rancho, Upland, it's gonna become hard because some of these people, they have either bought their house when interest rates were super low, or they refinance into a really low interest rate, right? So we're talking to people, yeah, I have a 2.6, I have a 2.7. We talked to somebody yesterday at 2.1. That's insane, right? 2.1, like you can't, like right now we're in the sixes somewhere. Like I can't quote you on a rate, but that's where we're at right now. So it makes sense. A lot of times if you're, again, moving from like LA County to somewhere deep into the Inland Empire, or you're okay with that increased payment, right? So that's something to consider. Hey, I'm gonna have a higher interest rate. I am coming with a pretty good down. Can I, maybe possibly refinance in the future? Can I just, pay this amount, or use some of that money to pay down the rate? Buy down the rate some, or do a 3-2-1 buy down, I believe it's called. So there's different options out there, but it doesn't work for everybody because, example, yesterday we're having, a conversation with a couple, and just for them to increase their mortgage to about $3,200, they were going to stay around the same purchase price as what they're selling their home for. So they're going to have to move further out, kind of like switch the home with closing costs and everything, and they're still going to pay about a $1,200 more a month. So something like that, is it really going to make sense? You be the judge on that one. So people who are upgrading, that's the problem they can run into, right? Hey, I'm probably going to pay more because interest rates are higher right now. Now, if you're downsizing, that's great. You can downsize in the same area, but again, you might have a higher payment unless that house is paid off already and you can use the equity to purchase a home cash. Obviously you're going to be in a pretty good position there. So cash is king. Cash is always king around here in real estate. The cash offers, they win them all. Don't hesitate to ask us to give you a market analysis on your home. And I know you can do that anywhere, but if you're interested in something like that, hey, how much equity do I have in my house? Send us a message, shoot us a call, and we can reach out and say, hey, this is how much you can possibly walk away with. We want to give you that information so you have it and you're not just guessing at where you're at, right? Yesterday, we met with this family, we sat down, we had the conversation, and we gave them an idea. We're not going to sit here and be like, hey, you need to sell your home because you talked to us. That's not the case, guys. So let's be smart about this. Let's be smart. Hey, maybe right now is not the time, but what is it going to look like in 6 months, 7, 8, 9 months, right? We don't really know what the market's going to do, but we want to give you an idea of where you're going to land. I hope this information was good for you. I hope you learned something. Please subscribe, like the video, and tag somebody in it that will possibly benefit from it. So guys, we're gonna be giving you guys a lot of tips on real estate and kind of updating you on where the market's at right now. Is it possible to sell and buy a house? Yes, we can help you. All right, guys, you guys have a good one. SoCal Daniel out.